What's up, Blockheads? We are in the garage today, and this episode, pretty big job. Got Eric, Bagger Bro, and Reese hiding over there, helping out. We're changing out the bars on the 2020 Harley-Davidson Low Rider S. So we're changing it out with, got some hard case risers, 9.5 inch, 29 inch wide Lucky Dave's MX style bars. We have some grips. These are brought to you by Get Lowered. So some Arlen S grips, usually the ones that I go with. We got some good and tight triple tree handlebar bushings, also hard case, and then everything else that you need. So we've got brake line, clutch cable, wire extensions, more wire extensions, twist grip sensor.
What's going on?
And a little brake, what is it, brake line adapter, right? So I'll list all the part numbers and all that stuff in the description down below. But that's everything you need to complete the job. You can go T-bars if you don't want to do risers. And then we also have a little bar bag, San Diego Customs. Oh, and you need brake fluid, and you need beer.
Lots of beer.
Lots of beer. So, first things first, we gotta take off the controls. So that's what we're doing now. You got torque spit down here, torque spit up here.
T25.
T27. Same on this side, torque spit, torque spit. Those there. And go ahead and take the rock form case off, which, hey, if you guys want 25% off of the rock form, Blockhead Moto 25 at their website.
Don't forget to buy the case too.
Yep, and then we're going to undo the bolts under here for under the triple tree, which we'll take off of the stock risers. And then we're good to go and put the new ones on and then run some new lines and clutch cables. If you guys want to follow Bagger Bro,
I would like that. I would
hit him
like
up.
that a lot.
Hit him up on Instagram at Bagger Bro.
Get the shenanigans, you know.
And Reese doesn't have social media, so you can't follow him, sorry.
Nope. He doesn't believe in that.
Also, pro tip, you guys be sure to cover up your tank.
Yo, paint's expensive.
That's right. Cover up the tank with a towel so you don't damage it. There's going to be controls loosened up and all that good stuff.
I'm probably going to drop something. So.
No dropping stuff. Getting to the wires, basically just pull this out, and that's where all the connections are for the wire extensions. In order to get to the wiring here, we are going to go ahead and take off the tank. So remove the seat, bolt here, castle nut there, same on this side. And then you're going to have some connections on the bottom that you have to undo down here, which we'll get to as soon as we start lifting it up. Bolts for the tank off, so the tank is pretty much free from those, so we just gotta lift it up and then disconnect it from the lines underneath.
Oh, wait for the fuel to come out? Yeah. That's, wow, like no fuel came out. That's great, it's off.
All right, so in order to get the tank all disconnected, you've got the overflow line, you've got the fuel pump plug right there, so undo those. You've got the plug up here for gauges, and then you actually had, what was the last one? Oh, the petcock, right? 4 different connections. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this allows us access to all of the wiring harness, which is inside of the frame with this grommet right here. So we basically just get to unplugging pretty much all of these.
Holy moly's.
Oh yes, there's a lot. This is what the harness looks like on the inside of the frame. Got it all unplugged, bunch of unplugged stuff there. We're gonna pretty much start pulling the wiring through the bars at this point. So we've got the top part loosened up. Don't get brake fluid on anything because it will basically tear up any of the paint.
Pro tip, when you take the cap off, never flip it over because there's like a rubber seal under here. And if you flip it over, brake fluid will get in between the rubber seal and the cap. And then when you go to put this back on and you tighten it down, you'll start getting run marks thinking, oh, I over tightened it or something. What's happening is like the brake fluid is leaking from around that to like a weep hole like right here. When you take it off, just set it down on something clean and leave it alone.
So you're gonna drain the fluid out of the reservoir first. To do that, we've got DYNA, which is just a brake bleeder kit. I'm gonna put that end in, and then.
Look at that.
Okay.
We got a little gravity feed going, a little gravity
siphon.
bleed.
Delicious.
Tastes like how dog food smells. Delicious.
So we're just gonna use some blue shop rags to get the rest of that out of there. Yep, just like that. Make sure you don't touch the brake fluid to anything, and if you do, make sure you've got brake cleaner. Spray it down. But yeah, after we get that, we're gonna hook up the brake bleeder kit to right here, the barb, and bleed the brakes.
Disconnected the brake line. It's very important when you suck all the fluid out, don't hit the lever because it's gonna shoot fluid straight up.
How'd you find that out?
Huh?
How'd you find that out?
Past experiences. And then so boom, we pulled the line off there, stuffed the rag in there, put a rag in here, making sure not to get any fluid anywhere. Okay, so we have all the wires disconnected down here. This is great. So all we have left to do is disconnect the clutch cable, and the 2 bolts under the top triple tree, and we can pull the whole bar set apart.
With these new
Soft tails.
the Softails are doing this separated clutch cable, so basically you don't have to go all the way into the casing, right, in order to change out the clutch cable. They've got this thing right here where you remove that sleeve and you can undo it right here, and then we're gonna add the extension from here upwards.
You know how you adjust the clutches on these two?
No, I don't.
You just spin this, and this gives it the tension.
Really?
Yep. Now you're disconnected. Now you have enough play to take the lever off.
Nice.
Anybody want to buy 24 karat gold levers? $400 right now.
Tree fitting.
400.
Tree fitting. So you guys know how to take the levers off.
This
It's just retained by that little piece of plastic.
plastic.
Just like that.
pull
So
this
you
out.
take the plastic off.
And that's it.
What you do is you compress this, push the lock back in, see how the spring is compressed. Now you have all the extra play to where you can get in there and undo it.
At this point, we have the bolts that hold the risers on loosened up. Eric took those off with, what'd you have? Just a ratchet wrench?
Three-quarter
ratchet wrench. So at this point, we should be good to pull it
Lift
up.
off. Nope, look at that. Would you just look at it? Just look at it.
I look so sad with the bars. Once you take the bars off, you're gonna have the risers. You gotta remove these bolts from in the risers, right? So you just get like vice grips, right? And they're gonna be kind of a bitch, but you know, just really get them on and then slowly unthread them, little by little. There you go.
There we go.
All right, so then you just gotta remove bushings.
Oh shit. Whoosh.
Yay!
Oh, you don't have to do it. Just push it from the bottom. Oh, there.
You ready? I'm gonna do that again.
I'm not gonna put these back in.
All right. So to like, they're kind of real tight when you put them in there. So what I like to do is, I'm just kind of and then, boom! Look at that.
I feel like my bike is so violated.
Beautiful. It's perfect. It's like
Polyurethane?
yeah. The shitty like rubber ones, and then these are the poly ones. Awesome. Always get those when you do bars.
So they absorb what? More vibration, right? So you
And they don't flex as much because the taller they get, the more leverage. That's all it is.
Piece of plastic. Once you put the handlebars on, it'll clamp them in. So you just gotta set them in there and ew, he's spitted on that one.
All right, guys, so we got the new risers, and we're putting the bolts for the risers into the bottom of them. Thread in. It takes 5 hands to do this.
And truly.
And it truly demonetized. All right, guys, we're inside doing surgery. Bagger Brew, he's the resident depinning expert.
Pretty good at it. You know, these are your friend.
Bagger boy.
Safety pins.
Ooh.
Great for depinning.
Yep. Cool thing, we have a extra, well not an extra, but like the longer twist grip sensor. So we actually don't have to take the twist grip sensor out of these stock bars. One thing we can leave behind, we do have the wire extensions for the rest of them. So basically we're working on getting the wires out of the bars. We're in the middle of the depinning process. So basically like all the harnesses that we're going to be running through the bars and the risers. You have to basically depin. We have to get it past this dimple right here.
Because it's aggressive.
I like big dimples and I cannot lie.
Depinning to basically fit everything through the bars. So we're gonna run it through, pull it out right here, and then repin everything into the harnesses. Quite the job.
It takes some time and it just takes patience.
Yeah.
Really.
So get yourself some safety pins.
And do that, boom. And then I gotta do 6 on this one.
You wanna explain the depinning process real quick?
So pretty much, you got these little nut tabs here, right? And when this is slid in there, you kind of want to drag the pin across the top, and then you'll feel the pin kind of drop. And then what it is, it's like a little tab holding on here. So you want to like, you'll feel it, and then you kind of, when you feel it drop, you push in and kind of pull up, and then pull the pin out. So it just takes some like, you got to feel it, and you know, just stuff.
Sounds like picking a lock.
Yeah, dude, I know how to Wait, no, we're not even talking about that right now.
A few moments later.
All right, Eric, what's the update?
So this is where we're at right now. The left hand controls were pretty easy to run. Those are in. We ran them through the riser and they're all repinned. Now, the fun part always, since we have this new fandangled throttle twist grip thing, you have to run that through, and then you have to run the controls and the turn signals all through the same little tiny bars and run everything. So we got everything ran through. I just need to repin some stuff.
With the help of that shoestring.
Oh, we use a little shoestring from Blocks, like signature Blockhead shoes coming out in 2045.
So after we get that repin, basically gonna pull the twist grip sensor and everything in the rest of the way. Seat it in the end of the bars, then line everything up. Put the top clamp back on so that the risers are all held against the bars, and then put them onto the bike.
Cool. Oh, hey.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
I didn't do much.
Appreciate you.
Me?
So putting in the
What's it called? The
twist throttle sensor?
Throttle twist sensor.
Twist
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Put it into where those keys line up there.
All right, so we ran the throttle twist tube thing, and it wasn't gonna fit through these side holes because we were running them through the risers. So we had to run just the throttle through the center. So that's gonna be the only visible wire in between the risers. We're gonna run these wires right now through the other riser and see what happens. See if I get it first shot right now. What do you think? You think it's gonna go through the hole? Come on, baby. Dang, got him. I got skills like that.
Right through.
Now I'm gonna take the tape off, repin everything, and then we got extension harnesses we're gonna hook up. And then I'll be ready to go back on the bike. We're pretty much done with the left side controls. We got the controls here wired up, right? What we're gonna do is, like, since we got the risers on here, we're gonna add these extensions that we got from Harley. So it's pretty much just plug and play. We repinned everything. This is for the turn signals. That's all it takes. And now we extended the harness. This will plug into the harness on the bike. That's plenty long enough. That's why there's no extensions for that. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna replicate it on the right side of the bars. So we're doing these hard case risers, right, with the Lucky Dave's bars. It's real important to, if you're gonna run the throttle cable through the middle, you make sure you bolt it up here first before you put it on the bike, because if you forget this, and this is all plugged and put away in the harness, you're gonna have to take this off. Little reminder. Starting to look like some bars now, right? I might just have to get one of the set of these for my bike. Nah, I'm not doing this ever again.
That's way too much work.
Yeah, on my bike I won't do it again, but if I get another bike, yeah.
Hey, what's under that Band-Aid?
Just a little burn, no big deal. I got in a fight with a dragon.
Let's just leave it and go home.
Yeah, we could totally do that. We did the hard part already. Block could do the rest. He'll hear us and like, oh, you guys are idiots. But
Did it the wrong way.
it's cool, it's cool. It's cool, we got this. That's starting to look like some bars again. Swing that mother sucker up. Have to be careful with this because there's this little plunger you don't want to mess up. I'm gonna install these R.S.S. Blockhead signature grips.
That black and gold.
The black and gold line. That's right.
It's too tight.
See how there's like slack? Remember, it's got to catch that gear on the end. If there's too much slack, you couldn't strip the gear, so it's got to go in a little more. But if you go in too tight, then you'll hit the throttle and it'll stay stuck.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's pretty good right there. Yeah, that's it. We're good. We're Gucci. That doesn't look too bad. I say we leave it at that. Do the other side a little bit. Snug. Look at that. He's got some bars now, son.
Dropping bars.
What?
Ooh. That throttle.
Oh, we'll be wrapping in no time. Much better than that stock stuff.
Tomorrow.
All right, guys, so at this point, we have all the extensions on. The wires are ran through the bars, some of the wires are ran down the risers, but the twist grip sensor wire is run through the middle, just because it was too large to run through the wire or through the risers. But we have all of the extensions here. Basically, just take all of these, the whole mess of wires, and we're gonna plug them all back into right in here. On the Softails, Harley's awesome enough to put them on this little block for us. And then once we've got them all on there, we're just gonna feed all the excess into the frame, bunch everything up as best we can, put that grommet back in. As you can see, we have the channel here goes on this part of the frame. So that's what we're doing. All right guys, now that we have all the wiring on and the bars on, I'm gonna go ahead and get the clutch all worked out. So we've got basically replacing this clutch line here with this new extended clutch cable. So the clutch cable is on, the upper extension, and the clamps are back on the frame. And then basically you're just gonna reinstall the clutch cable, the eyelet and the end back into the clutch lever, which is just this plastic retaining piece. And it has the dimple that you line up. Push that post through there, line that back up. And then we're going to put it back into part on the lever, well, on the bars. So this part through the end. Then you're gonna take the post and put it right back in here. Don't forget, bottom side of that post, you do have to put the retaining ring back on it. Snap ring pliers, snap ring on the bottom. So next up, we need to replace the brake line. So we've got the old one down here, and since this bike does have dual disc, so disc on both sides, it does go to a distribution block, which is right here. So we're gonna want to undo the line that goes up to the bars, right, which is on the back there. And if you guys notice, against the block, there's actually a nut that we can undo to take that line out. And we have a new little fitting here for that. So there you go, that's the new little fitting. And the new brake line, extended brake line. Obviously, if you're going with bars that aren't as tall and you can make it work, but Harley doesn't really give you an extra at all, any extra brake line at all. So chances are you'll probably have to get an extended brake line. All right, so we got the new pieces threaded onto the block here, but everything's just lightly, nothing's tightened up at all. So it's lightly here. So we got some movement, and whenever we are going to put it on the bike and we put the tank back on, kind of need to figure out where we're gonna be like routing it, you know, because we don't want it hitting the tank. So we'll probably kind of route it out like towards this way, but it needs to go up to like the reservoir, right? Next step is to grab the banjo bolts right here and attach it to the reservoir. Went ahead and put the tank back on just because I need to kind of see where I'm going to be routing the wiring so that it's not doing that right there. You don't want it touching the tank. Angle this a little differently from here and route this so that it's not rubbing on the tank. I guess just to mention, whenever you do put the tank back on, don't forget to plug back in the gauges right here. And then you're gonna go on this side and plug back in the petcock, the overflow valve, and there's like one more thing to plug into. Jumped ahead a couple steps. Seats back on, Loctited. I went ahead and basically just buttoned everything up, tightened everything down, ran the brake line, tightened the bolts down here to the risers, put some blue Loctite on them, and tightened them down to spec. Tightened down all the bolts here on the top clamp for the risers. Basically sat on the bike and adjusted the controls to the angle that I wanted them, and then tightened those down as well through the Torx bolts here and here. Loosened up the signals, the indicators, hex bolt there, angled those correctly. So the mirrors, I'm currently working on flipping these. I'll update you guys in a video, but the mirrors for now are staying up top. Brake line, like I said, I ran that. New brake line, it is extended. Put the banjo bolt back into here with the copper washer, the line, and then copper washer, and then banjo bolt. Angled it basically so that it wouldn't be hitting the tank. You do have a thing on the fork right here that kind of retains the line, keeps it from going as far back. I ran it, this was Wes's idea, instead of just running it out here, we ran it through the frame right there, and then this is how I angled it right there. I put a zip tie right here just loosely, so that basically it holds it and keeps it from hitting the tank right there. So whenever you turn it that way, it's good. And then if you turn it back this way, it's good. Running the lines, basically added new fluid, DOT4. It is the Motul. This is what I went with. This is kind of what I had on hand. Bled the brakes with the help of Wes. Bled this side first until it was emptying out of the reservoir. Got all the lines, or all the air out of this side. Switched over to the other side just in case. Bled that one too. There was a lot of air in it. So the lever, I mean, there was tension, right? So you could feel tension, but there was a little bit of squishiness. He had read somewhere that if you put a zip tie and leave it like this overnight, that it'll basically constrict the fluid and cause the like if there's any air bubbles to be smaller, to work their way out of the lines, I guess. So I'm trying that. Clutch cable I adjusted, so has tension. We're good there. The adjustment on this clutch cable is stupid easy. Basically, these new clutch cables are awesome. So just pull this up. What you're gonna do is there's 2 tabs on the other side of this red piece. So you can see right there. So you basically press those tabs inwards, which causes this piece to pop out, and then you can adjust the tension of the clutch. After you have it adjusted, you press that piece back in, slide the sleeve back over, just put your little, wire piece for the frame back on. That's it. And then that's adjusted. It's good to go. Absolutely love that Harley does that now. So that's it, guys. That is installing risers and MX style bars on a Harley. Worst part about it was the wiring, as was expected. The de-pinning process, which I had help for that, so big thanks to Reese and Eric and Wes. Appreciate all the help. Let's go take it for a ride, and I'll give you guys my first thoughts and impressions.
All right, blockheads, Wes on comms with me.
What's up?
So that's how you guys install some risers and new bars on a Harley. As you guys will see, I do have a check engine light, but that is basically from starting it up while there wasn't a gas tank on it and stuff. So it's basically throwing a code saying like the fuel pump's not there. You can actually go in and clear those. There's a certain way, I forget how to do it, but otherwise she's running great. The bars feel good. My arms are definitely more straight out. 9.5-inch risers with Lucky Dave's MX style bars. That's how you install the bars. The biggest pain about it, what would you say, Wes, is the de-pinning and wiring process?
That was pretty rough. Some of them were easy, but there was that one for the
twist grip sensor.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one was a bitch. Alright, well, if you guys have any questions, be sure to post them down in the comments below. Big thanks to Hardcase Risers for the bars. It's not necessarily a sponsored episode because I bought the risers, but I hit up Hardcase and was talking to them a bit, and they sent the Lucky Dave's bars, which is pretty cool. 29-inch, so they're a little narrower than stock bars. Stock bars are 32-inch, I want to say. I bought the San Diego Customs bar bag so I can keep some stuff in there. I've actually got my Blockhead bike bag in there, some sunglasses, and some stickers. So the essentials, right? And then I'm going to be getting a bigger fairing for it from Memphis Shades, so it'll cover up this clutch cable and it'll come up more. That's the quest to make it a more comfortable distance rider. Big thanks to Wes for the help, as well as Eric and Reese. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. Hit that bell icon so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. Be part of that Hell Yeah Squad. Until next time, ride safe, stay vigilant. Catch you guys in the next one.
What?
Harley wins versus sport bike.
Veteran rider wins against the new guy.
Yeah, that's more what it is.